Hi everybody, I'm Demetria Stallings and we're here with Space Cherry Films, and I'm so honored that we have Scotty McGee with us here today. Scotty is the founder and CEO of Moetivs Clothing. Scotty, thank you for being here with us.
Demetria, thank you. Pleasure's all mine.
Yay! Okay, so Scotty, who are you? I mean, you've been through a lot in your young life. You played in the NFL. Who is Scotty McGee?
Well, you know, Demetria, a lot of times when people are asked that question, they like to say what they do rather than who they are. For me, you know, first and foremost, I'm a man of God. I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a son. And then down that list somewhere, I'm a professional athlete. And so, you know, with that being said, you know, that's the gist of it. You know, there's a lot more that can go into that, but I think that covers all bases.
That's really awesome. People do talk more of what they do than who they are. Now tell me, you and your wife started a clothing line,
Yes.
Moetivs Clothing. Can you
Yes.
tell us a little bit about that?
Moetivs, the name of the clothing line is Moetivs. It's actually spelled M-O-E-T-I-V-S. In any and everything you do, check your motives behind it. You know, you want to be sure that you're not doing things to please the lust and desires of your flesh, but rather to glorify His kingdom. MOE is an acronym for Messiah over everything. You know, basically what the line is, it just serves as a daily reminder to keep God first.
So what's the significance of the launch date for your clothing line?
The significance of the launch date, September 21st, 2012 was our launch date. You go back 365 days to the exact date, and that's the date that the enemy tried to take me out. To get into what happened, you know, my wife and I, we just put our children to bed, and we were just winding down from the evening, from all the things that we had to do throughout the day. And you know, I was looking for a pair of earrings. My wife said she didn't know where they were, you know, so she was like, well, you've been on medication, you know, you may have just put them away and don't remember. And she asked me, you know, a laundry list of other things. Did you put this away? Did you put that away? And one of the things that she asked was, did I put my firearm away? And I said, yes, I did. You know, so, you know, she ended up, you know, leaving the room. I went to go look for the stuff, and, you know, I was looking for the earrings. I couldn't find them. On the way out the door, I just heard this voice say, go make sure your gun's in the drawer. And I said, I know it's in the drawer. But for some reason, I still went and checked. I opened the drawer. I closed the drawer to make sure it was in there. My wife said she heard that happen. A few minutes, I'm walking out of the room now after closing the drawer, and something just says, go back and pull your gun out. And I mean, I felt like a puppet on a string. And as I went back, you know, I pulled the gun out, and I sat there and I stared at it, and I started to think about, you know, so many things. And I said, you know, I don't know how people could do this to themselves. How could you take your life? You got too much to live for. Like, I could never do this. And at that moment that I said I could never do this, this dark cloud just came over me. And the enemy bombarded me with everything he could possibly bring to the table. You're worthless. You're not worthy. You're better off dead. Your children are better off without you. And I mean, I'm sitting here and I'm struggling with this thing, and I mean, it was an attack like never before. I'm sitting here, and I remember I clicked the gun to safety, and I start tapping on the trigger. And I just said, I could never do this to my mother. She's already lost one son. I could never do this to my brother. I mean, I could never do this to my mother. And what ended up happening, I'm tapping on the trigger, and I said, man, God, I went to lean back, and as I leaned back, I said, Lord, help me. And as I leaned back and said, help me, the gun goes off. Oh. Boom. My wife runs into the room. She's screaming. This is in our home. We had just put our children to bed, and this was something that, had not Jesus showed up in that instance, I mean, I feel like He saved me 2 times over. And as a result of that incident, I said, from this day forward, God, I will never put my hand to the plow and look back. And I got prayed up, and I said, God, use me however you see fit, because you're the only reason that I'm here. If the enemy had his way that night, I would have been gone. But why did he launch that attack? Because he had literally peeked into my future, and he saw what God was about to bring me into. He saw that God was about to birth Moetivs Clothing out of me, and how it was going to bless the masses, and how it was going to shake up the depths of hell. And so he said, I got to stop it before it gets started. So
the gun goes off right after you lift your head, and it missed
inches. I felt the heat. I felt the heat.
So what's next for Moetivs Clothing?
Well, I tell you what, that's only the surface of it. That's the thing about it. I think this is just God's way of getting into the earth, because, He's an all-knowing God. I mean, He's awesome. He knows, the impact and the influence that clothing has on our society and culture. But that's only the surface of it. The MOE movement goes far beyond that. It's so much more than just clothing. We'll be doing things, reaching out to the homeless, MOE homes for the homeless. We'll have the vision that God gave me. We'll have our own TV network. We'll be doing a lot of missionary work, Messiah's outreach everywhere. That's another facet of MOE. So there are so many things that are in the makings, that are in the works, that we're just waiting on to be released from heaven.
I'm sure people want to get in touch with you. How can they get in touch with you?
Okay, well, they can follow us on Facebook at Moetivs Clothing. That's Moetivs Clothing. They can also follow us on Twitter at MOE_movement. That's MOE_movement. You can also check out our fall line at www.moetivsclothing.com. That's MOETIVS clothing.com.
And okay, now that's phenomenal. I think that's amazing, all the things that you're doing. But dude, like for real, you're preaching up here, and I'm sure people are gonna want you to come do some motivational speaking in some colleges or anything. I mean, they might even want you to come and preach at their church or just talk about the good things of the Lord. How can they do that?
Well, they can get in contact with my manager and publicist, Teresa O. You can contact her at phenomenal.managing@gmail.com.